At Alton Park, Vauxhall had claimed their first pole position of the season via John Cleland. But Joe Winkelhock, the winner at Donington, had gone well enough on his first ever visit to Alton Park to join him on the front row. Just 6/100ths of a second separated them. An eager, competitive lineup for round 5. But seconds later on the warm-up lap, Rob Gravitt's hopes in the Peugeot are prematurely ended.
Something's broken on the car. Drive shaft or something snapped. No drive at all on the car.
So the warm-up lap completed, minus Rob Gravitt, and also minus Julian Bailey, who sprints for the pits in his misfiring Toyota.
Two Vauxhalls and two BMWs on the front 2 rows of the grid, followed by Will Hoy's Toyota, Patrick Watts' Mazda and Keith O'Dore's Nissan. Empty spaces where Julian Bailey and Rob Gravitt should have been. Ian Flux's Peugeot, Alan Manu's Renault, David Leslie's Vauxhall and the rest of the 22 starters line up to attack 18 laps of Alton Park's picturesque 2.8-mile circuit. And it's a rocket start by Winkelhock. Into the lead at Old Hall Corner. Soper past Cleland to second position. In car with Allen now. He's in 5th place. That's Will Hoy ahead. And Hoy is attacking Cleland into Cascades. This is Cascades. Cleland on the right. Hoy on the left. Cleland's held the pace. Now we're looking back at Hoy's Toyota Carina from Cleland's Vauxhall. Island Bend, they're doing about 130 miles an hour around the left-hander here as they go up to the right-hand hairpin at Shell. We're in car with O'Dore now, chasing Watts' Mazda. Out of Shell corner, second gear, 50 miles an hour, then they accelerate away, back again with Allen, 5th position. Down to Fulston's, the second gear, 60 mile an hour chicane, and Hoy clips the curve. Now they're on their way to Knickerbrook. There's the rest of the field streaming through. Soper, second position, 135 miles an hour to Knickerbrook. Down into second gear. Winkelhock leads, Soper second, Cleland is in 3rd position. Will Hoy is in 4th position in the Toyota, the blue car, and he's gone off onto the grass. Allen is going to pass him. We're with Allen. He's passed Hoy up into 4th position. Up Clay Hill into Druids. Here's the leader, Winkelhock. Now we're in O'Dore's Nissan. He's pressing Watts and Hoy ahead of him. There's the Mazda, and Hoy's gone off. Hoy's gone off at Lodge, and O'Dore is attacking Watts. He's going to take 6th position as they come up to Lodge. He's done it, and that's the end of Will Hoy's bank holiday drive in the country. End of the lap. Winkelhock leads. He won at Donington. Soper, Cleland, Allen, O'Dore, Watts. Back with Leslie, 7th place. Alan Menu ahead in the yellow Renault. And Leslie's trying to dive through on the inside as they go down towards Cascades. He's done it, but somewhere on the left there is Alan Menu as they come down to Cascades. Into the left hand, and there's Menu. He's going through on the inside. So the Renault ahead of the Vauxhall. We're back again with David Leslie. Coming up to the second gear, right-hander at Shell, the hairpin. With Leslie. Menu keeping ahead. Into Shell. Out of Shell. With Leslie. And Patrick Watts is out. There's the Mazda on the right. Patrick Watts slowing up. They're coming into Fulston's. Number 14, Ian Flux. Now, watch David Leslie change those gears in quick time. 4th. 5th. 6th. Now down. 5th. 4th. 3rd. 2nd. And into and out of Knickerbrook. Up Clay Hill. Now here's a replay. Look in the top right corner and see what happened to Will Hoy when he went off. There's the Toyota across the grass, into the barrier. It rolls over, and Will Hoy is out. That's it for today. And here's a 7-car train fighting for 6th. Flux, Menu and Leslie up ahead. Back again with Leslie. 8th place. Alan Menu's Renault ahead. The patient development is paying off as they go through at the end of the lap. Down down into Old Hall Corner, third gear. Leslie on the inside, Menu on the outside. And Leslie's got ahead of the Renault again as they go down the Cascades. Is Menu going to attack as he did before? Indeed he is. He's going through. That's Cascades. And Alan Menu in the Renault retakes the place from David Leslie. And there's a spin. That is Ian Carn's Vauxhall. He is out of the race. And so is Patrick Watts' Mazda. What a pity. But the battle continues at Shell. Flux, Menu, Leslie, O'Brien. They'll all want it now that they've seen it working. Adam Nickerbrook and behind Leslie, it's O'Brien, Harvey, Needell, Matthew Neal, up Clay Hill. Eugene O'Brien goes by. David Leslie's got a problem. He's slowing down. There's Harvey, there's Tiff Needell, and there is Matthew Neal in the BMW. So David Leslie is out of the race. And meantime, up at the front, it's Winkelhock and Soper, Cleland and Allam, 2 BMWs, 2 Vauxhalls. We're with Soper, and it looks like Winkelhock got a jump on Steve. 22 points between them in the championship, but the gap is going to close if Winkelhock wins. With Soper into Deer Leap, 6th gear, 120 miles an hour. 3 seconds separate the first 4 into Old Hall. Winkelhock is leading. It's his first race at Alton. He says it reminds him of the famous Nürburgring in Germany, and he loves it. Cascades. The BMW, the yellow helmet of Winkelhock. Behind him, Steve Soper. Behind him, Cleland. Behind him, Allam. And we're with Allam now. The Vauxhalls are right in there today. Island Bend. Cleland goes past Soper to second position. The Vauxhall ahead of the BMW. We're with Soper into Shell. Second gear. Now, can John Cleland get away? He's got ahead of Steve Soper, and that took a lot of doing. Soper down to third. We're with him. Allam is in fourth position. Great racing. Now, looking back at Soper, and all this is helping Winkelhock because Cleland, Soper and Allam are getting in each other's way. Into Nickerbrook. Cleland, number 3 in the Vauxhall, second. 6 is Steve Soper. And there he is. He's won 2 out of 4 races this year, so he is the man to beat. Up Clay Hill, into the right-hander at Druids. And here it is. Cleland from Peebles, Soper from Monaco, Allam from Lee in Surrey. Down to Lodge, the right-hander, almost at the end of the lap. There is John Cleland. Behind him is Soper. BMW. We're with Soper again. That's John Cleland ahead as we dive into Deer Leap at 120 miles an hour. Round the left-hander, completing the lap down to Old Hall Corner. And Winkelhock is now 3 seconds ahead of the battle for second place, and there's nothing in it. Jeff Allam, 4th place, Vauxhall, down to Cascades. Jeff Allam won twice last year, British champion in 1982, second in the 1,000-kilometre race at Bathurst in Australia in 1990. He knows what he's doing. Up to Ireland. It's still anybody's race for second place, but Winkelhock looks set for a second successive win. Round Island, water on the left, and it's into the long, long hairpin at Shell. Everything's stressed to the limit. We're with Allam. Rear-wheel drive BMW's first and third. Front-wheel drive Vauxhall second and fourth. That is Fulston's. Back again with Soper. Over the crest, and then dive down to Nickerbrook at 130 miles an hour. Hard on the brakes to go through the chicane. And at Fulston's, there's no quarter behind. Flux and Menu, O'Brien, Harvey, Needell. And we're with Matthew Neal now, leading the Privateers battle for the non-works drivers, and he's chasing Tiff Needell in the black Nissan. Nickerbrook, and Menu goes past Flux into 6th position. So the yellow Renault is 6th. Eugene O'Brien is behind Flux. And Harvey is behind O'Brien. As at Druids, the battle for second comes towards us. Cleland, Soper, Alum. And this is where Cleland went off last year. We're looking back at Soper. There's the BMW. And Cleland has not gone off this year. Down to Lodge, completing the lap. Cleland, Soper, Alum. On to Old Hall. There is the leader. Number 22, Winkelhock in the second BMW. Now, Soper, Old Hall, 90 miles an hour. Cleland in front, and Soper is really charging to try and catch the Vauxhall and get past it. Into the avenue, round Cascades, down to Falk. He's going off! He's going off! Straight into the tyre wall. Now, why on earth did that happen? That's not like Steve Soper. Something must have broken, surely. Well, he seems to be all right. He's out of the car. There it is, across the water. And that is Winkelhock going up into Shell. Well, what a development. Winkelhock is now 3.5 seconds ahead of Cleland. There's Allen now in third position. The leader to Fulstons, and then Clay Hill. And here's a replay, looking back at Soper's car from Cleland's. Soper turns in, tries to, goes straight off across the grass into that tyre wall. And Allen takes third position. Now from Steve Soper's point of view. Watch his hands, calm reaction on the wheel, and watch our cameraman as we head straight towards him. Stop! He's a runner. And one very bent BMW. There's a big body shop job there. And the battle for the glory of France continues. Renault, Peugeot, Menu, Flux, O'Brien. Harvey's doing his best to close. Then it's Needell, Neal, Ashley, Kay, Nuttall, and Bobby Verdon Rowe. There's Nuttall in the blue and white Vauxhall. Down to Knickerbrook, and O'Brien is passing Flux into sixth position. O'Brien on the left, locking up his wheels, but he's scrambled through. Down to seventh place goes Ian Flux. The two Peugeots still together though, and we're with Harvey, the reigning British champion. BMW last year, Renault this year. Ian Flux in the Peugeot ahead in seventh place. Up to Druids. O'Brien, Flux, Peugeot. Harvey in the Renault. Now to Lodge. Menu is pulling away from the two Peugeots. Eugene O'Brien, it's his first year in touring cars. And Tim Harvey here has been racing for 14 years. He's the champion. End of the lap. Menu, O'Brien, Flux, Harvey and Needell are together. Matthew Neal is behind them. So, round Old Hall Corner at the beginning of the lap. Down to Cascades again, we're in car with Neal. Down to Island Bend, chasing Tiff Needell, who is deputising for Wyn Percy, who crashed the Nissan in testing. Needell is in last year's car. And Matthew Neal is hanging on. Great racing for the places. 5 makes in the first 9 positions. Back again with Neal. Needell ahead. Harvey's ahead of him. Into Shell again. Out of it, and this is the battle for 11th. Kay, Ashley, Nuttall, number 78. Bobby Verdon Rowe in the green and white Toyota. Ashley runs wide, Nuttall goes through. And Bobby Verdon Rowe into Fulstons. They're catching James Kay's Toyota. That's Nuttall. Matthew Neal. And Needell ahead is attacking Harvey for 8th position into Knickerbrook. They turn in. And off goes Needell. Off goes Needell. He spun to a standstill. I think he hit both of them. Well, here's Druids. Alan Menu, 5th position. The two Peugeots behind him. There's O'Brien with the red headlamps. Flux, number 14. Now, here's a replay. Watch Tiff Needell on the left. Harvey goes through. Needell turns in. And Neal hits him at the back. Harvey hits him at the front. And Tiff Needell is very much out of the race. Here he is, touring in, well, racing in, rear spoiler hanging off. Matthew Neal's coming in, he got damaged in the BMW, that's rotten luck. He was doing well. That's his race over. And Winkelhock leads at Island Bend, locks up his wheels, one of Germany's top touring car drivers, racing in Britain now, because the British Touring Car Championship is acknowledged to be the best in the world. And he's now over 4 seconds ahead of Cleland. There's the Vauxhall. Jeff Hallam in 3rd place. This is Keith O'Dore, an excellent fourth place in his Nissan. He's tried so hard in his Primera for very little success so far. And at Druids, Winkelhock has got win number 2 coming up. Coulston's Verdon Rowe leads Nuttall for 7th. Verdon Rowe in the Toyota and into the tyre wall. Nuttall goes through and he's got a tyre jammed under the front of his car. Verdon Rowe rejoins. And that's Ian Ashley going past him. And there's tyres all over the place. There's one of them. Now we're in car with Tim Harvey, fishing for gears. He just found one. Oh my goodness, he's going off like Soper. But he stops just in time. No points for the champion today. Well, the Renault is very new. They're working very hard getting it right. It looks as though there's still a long way to go for Tim Harvey. And out of the car, he's passed by the BMWs of Alex Portman and Andy Wallace fighting for 11th. And there's James Kay behind them. Druids, Harry Nuttall weaving. He's shaken that tyre out from underneath the car. But Ashley in the white Vauxhalls caught him. And Bobby Verdon Rowe. This is the battle for the privateers after Neil is out. And Ashley and Verdon Rowe both get past Nuttall into Lodge. Change of places. Ian Ashley then leads the privateers race now. Nearly end of the lap. Coulston's. Winkelhock is making it look very easy, which it most certainly is not. And at Old Hall, Verdon Rowe is taking the lead for the Toka Cup. Verdon Rowe, Ashley, Nuttall, first, second and third in their contest, and Menu is off. He was 5th, so that's both the Renaults out. And now the privateers, here they are fighting for 7th. Verdon Rowe's got it. Ashley behind him, that is Nuttall. On to Shell. And Nuttall's attacking, he's diving inside Ian Ashley. Oh, he just nudges the Vauxhall, unintentional. Ian Ashley swerves, rejoins. Nuttall up to 8th, and the race-long fight between the Peugeots is still on. 14, Ian Fluck, 6th position. It'll be Peugeot's best result if they both finish. And there's not long to go now. That's Winkelhock, last lap. It's been a dominating drive by the ever-cheerful and very popular German. He's winning against expectations because people thought BMW's 100-kilogram weight penalty would slow them down on the climb to Dalton. But if it has, it doesn't show. Here he is, down to Knickerbrook for the last time. Almost home for his 2nd successive win. BMW sounding crisp, looking good. And at Ireland, Flux is going for 5th. Flux on the outside. O'Brien on the inside. O'Brien's got the racing line. Flux has to back off. So O'Brien is going to be 5th and Flux is going to be 6th, provided they don't take each other off in what's left of the lap. Surely they won't do that. Lights ablaze, Winkelhock is almost home. Into Dearly. That's the last corner coming up. And Winkelhock wins at Alton Park and takes the championship lead from his teammate, Steve Soper. It was an excellent win for Winkelhock and BMW. 6 seconds ahead of the Vauxhalls, and a good day for Nissan and Peugeot too. But what happened to Steve Soper?
The inner steering arm which bolts to the steering rack broke. Yeah, I was a complete passenger, was wondering what was happening at the time, but in 20 years it's the first mechanical failure I've ever had, so I don't think that's a bad record. Let's just hope it doesn't happen again.
A day of mixed emotions at Alton Park, but here are 4 satisfied men, including Ian Ashley, second from the right, who'd taken over the lead in the Toka Cup for privateers. And of course Winkelhock, whose 2nd successive win meant that he now headed Steve Soper in the championship, but only 2 points in it, and the Vauxhall men, Cleland and Allam, weren't too far distant in 3rd and 4th.